Welcome to Kevin and Tanisha's Mix It Up,
where we're going to discuss everything from our family and friends. Oops.
You need to...
What?
Don't sound like you're in the auditorium.
I just tried to do that. Check.
All right. Welcome to Kevin and Tanisha's Mix It Up,
where we're going to discuss everything from our similarities and differences,
family and friends,
son and daughter,
home and work,
and how it all impacts our marriage, parenting, relationships, faith, and beyond.
Let's mix it up.
Welcome back to Mix It Up. We're here again, week after week, to mix it up with you and with each other. Today we're going to be talking about support. We're going to kick the episode off with a little activity that we have here. Basically, what's going to happen is I am going to list 5 things that I want to do. 5 things that maybe I'm interested in doing. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I just want to gauge to see how much my wife supports me. And she's going to do the same.
Yep.
If we are supportive of that idea, the other person is going to say, I support that. If we are not supportive of that idea, you're going to hear crickets. So, we'll just bounce back and forth between our 5 things here. So I'll go first. My first idea that I would like support in is I've been thinking about becoming an online gamer.
Stop it. Oh.
She didn't even give time for the crickets. Insert crickets now.
Okay, so I want to attend 4 Saints games this year. For real?
Negative, Captain. She wants somebody to have a new job to afford to attend. She acts like the Saints are the Buckeyes right around the corner.
Oh,
like we just about to travel to New Orleans.
Stop it. No, they're playing in Detroit too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whatever.
All right. I would love to buy a $500 espresso machine. We're very supportive of each other, as you can tell here.
Oh, no. You're not buying no $400. $500, did you say?
Yeah, it's really $700, the one that I want. But
negative. No. I want to build a compost in the backyard.
You want to build it?
Yeah.
I support that.
You do?
If you want to build it.
I can build it. Well, I can buy one at Home Depot and
That's different.
I could put it in the backyard, but I'll be building it in the backyard.
I support you building your compost in the backyard.
Okay.
All right. I have been toying around with the idea, feel like I'm getting good at it, of being a stay-at-home dad.
No. No, not gonna happen. I want to find a roller skating teacher.
Will this person be teaching you how to roller skate for free?
No.
I can teach you how to roller skate.
I don't want you to.
Yeah. Crickets. Paying for no roller skating teacher.
Why not? You rather pay for a roller skating teacher or a hospital bill?
Neither.
Okay.
We're not playing Would You Rather. We're playing.
Stop it. Okay.
All right. I want to transform our home office into a home studio.
No. Mm-mm.
Really?
Not that. Maybe the basement.
You're not very supportive of my ideas. That was a softball.
I am.
That was a softball.
I'm supportive of the home studio, just not in the office. If we could do the basement, kind of like my compost, you're not supportive of me buying it from Home Depot, but you're supportive of me building it and putting it in the backyard.
I'm not supportive of myself cleaning out the basement to build a studio in the basement. That's a lot of work. I can have it done next week if we did it in the office.
Instant gratification. All right. So that's funny because I want to turn the front room into a greenery room.
I support that. What's going to happen to your...
my plants.
Yeah, that's cool. I support that. But just about 2 months ago, you wanted to turn that into a playroom, and we just spent the money to do that. So
I know, but no one's ever in there.
What happens to all that stuff?
No one's ever in there. We cannot get them to go in there.
So can I have the TV that was bought for in there for my studio? All right.
Maybe.
All right. So I would love to trade my car in for a Jeep.
I support that.
A new Jeep?
You said a Jeep. You didn't say a new Jeep.
Like a Jeep.
I mean, you can get a 2007 Jeep. That's fine.
I'll take a 2017 Jeep. That's still pretty old.
Okay. I want to live in 2 states. I want to live in Ohio in the summer and fall, in a warmer state like Louisiana in the winter and spring.
I support that. You say you do.
Mm-hmm.
That means I can just stay wherever I want.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. So I get 3 months off.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. And my last one is I want Wingstop for dinner tonight.
That's fine.
That's not what you're
I support that. I support it.
Hey. We'll see if that actually comes true or not.
I'll post it on IG. All right. So clearly, Kevin only supports one of my desires, which is to build the compost. And I supported how many of yours?
You supported me trading my car for a Jeep, but not the Jeep that I want. You like halfway supported my ideas. You supported me getting Wingstop for dinner. That was it.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe this is an accurate depiction of how we support each other.
Maybe. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Today, we're going to talk about being supportive and how being supportive towards each other in our marriage and our friendship can look different, feel different, and sometimes change over time. One of the things that we've discussed is how it has looked different. The support that we've provided each other has drastically looked different over the time we've been together.
Why do you think, what is it that you think makes support look different?
I think that when we were dating, you were more of a cheerleader versus being a primary support. You were someone that I could go to confide in, and knowing that you were there to just listen and provide encouragement, not so much feedback and challenge my thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I echo that. I just feel like as you grow up, you have a lot of different, you have cheerleaders and you have supporters, and in your life, a lot of your friends, a lot of the people, as kids, you're going to your parents. They're your main supporters, or the people that are raising you, whoever that may be. it's your main supporter, and they're taking care of you. They're challenging you to be better, to do more, to all of that stuff. And then you have you have best friends, and they're supporters, but they don't have skin in the game. Like, they can just be cheerleaders for you. And I think we saw that in our relationship is, when we were dating and as young adults, it was very easy for me to just be a cheerleader for you and be supportive of what you wanted to do. Yeah. I was supporting your thoughts and ideas, but I wasn't your main supporter. And I think that's the difference that we really want to point out for this episode is we're not talking about like being supportive as a husband or a wife or spouse or, a longtime partner is different than being supportive for your best friend.
Yeah.
Because a good example I think of that is, when you were coming into adulthood and wanted to start moving out and be out on your own, get your own apartment, or move in with family or things like that. That was very easy for me to be a cheerleader. Like, yeah, go do that. You can do it. I believe in you. You can make it happen. Very, very easy.
Yeah, you definitely you were a cheerleader for sure.
Yeah, and I benefited from that, being able to spend more time with you or have greater access to you. And at the same time, though, there wasn't any ramifications on my end if you failed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You would have you had to figure that out. If you couldn't pay rent or
it was my issue.
I didn't have skin in the game. And I think that's how a lot of our friendships, a lot of our relationships operate is, we don't have that same sort of skin in the game that you have with your spouse or with your kids, or with that person that is the closest person to you that you're supporting their emotions, you're supporting their physical health, you're supporting their mental health. There's a lot more that you have to deal with. And I think the opposite side to that same scenario is, you get the apartment, ups and downs happen. You move back in with your parents, you get another apartment. We finally get married, we get in our own apartment, and a year in, you're like, I'm ready to buy a house.
We're ready to buy a house.
You were like, I want a house because I don't want to walk up these 3 flights of stairs.
Okay.
Right? So my support now looks different. My support is completely all skin in the game, financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, what it's going to take for me to be supportive of the idea that we're going to go buy a house. That's totally different. And I have to now get on board. I think that's a big key point too, is like, I probably would have been good in an apartment for another 3 to 107 years. Right?
Really?
And yeah, I don't have to cut no grass. All I had to do was walk up 3 flights of stairs. Don't have to cut grass. Don't have to fix the heater. Don't have to fix the roof leaks. None of that, right?
You mean pay for people to do it?
Yeah, or feel the pressure to do it myself. None of that, right? But now I have to take something that you want and make it something that I also, want as well. And that is like that true support. I'm taking on something that you believe is good for us. And we had conversations about it. It wasn't just like, you want a house and now I got to jump on board. Now, like, no, we both decided that we wanted a house, but it was an initial thought and idea of yours that I got on board with and began to support.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was definitely the one up at 2:00 in the morning looking at realtors.com, trying to figure out where we should be living. And yeah, it was definitely
What are those websites different from the realtor websites?
I was definitely on the internet looking at websites to find a house that would be fitting for
the relators.com.
I said realtors. I was definitely on the internet looking at websites to find a house that would definitely fit our mutual expectations of owning a home. So definitely. For sure.
So then if that's what support looks like, then what does support feel like?
I would say support feels like someone who has the ability to uplift you and empower you to continue to move forward. I would say it's someone that comes from a genuine place and delivers their support in a loving manner. I would say that it's someone who, though they may challenge you, they don't degrade your thoughts or disregard your desires. The challenge is merely them making sure that you have truly thought out this plan or you have truly thought out the plan, or that you understand what you may be getting yourself into.
You just jumped off the diving board into the 12 feet there.
Why?
That was deep.
Oh.
I mean, I agree. Support is, it feels like you are important to that person. It feels like the things that you want, the thoughts, the ideas that you have are important. Mm-hmm. And because if they weren't important, you wouldn't feel supported in those.
Yeah.
You wouldn't feel like you matter. And I think there's times where both of us have experienced both sides of that spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
A common theme on these podcast episodes is you making fun of me for not riding this bike out here. Maybe I don't ride this bike because I don't feel supported in my bike riding.
When you have to get on it to be supported, I don't really understand.
Yes, I would have to get on it, but you didn't want me to buy all the necessary things. You didn't want me to buy the bike shorts. You didn't support me spending that $30. You didn't want me to buy the gloves that make it easier to ride. You didn't want me to buy the pedals that make it easier to keep your feet on.
So Kevin, he is one of those people where if he's going to do something, he wants the entire set. Like, let's not just gradually, he wants it all. He does not believe in, let's just start piece by piece to see if this is something that I genuinely want to invest my money, my time, and my effort into. He's just like, I want to do it, so let's get it all.
I want the best of the best, mm-hmm. and it's going to help me to feel empowered to do whatever that may be.
All right, I'll buy your biker shorts off of Amazon.
I don't want them off of Amazon.
Okay, see, there you go.
I want them from Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, but I think also when we're talking about support too, like I think it's important for, even if you don't agree or fully support whatever it is, the person still feels validated. Like you still feel like, I know you heard me. Whether you support it, I know you heard me and you were listening to me. And maybe it may not be the time to do this or engage in this. There's still that validation of, okay, well, at least he heard my idea. So if it comes back around, it's not new information.
Yeah. And I think that's the difference between just that's your relationship. That goes back to how you're communicating. And if you're communicating effectively, you'll know that there's a difference between like me challenging an idea that you have or challenging a hope or dream that you have, mm-hmm. so you can think through it a little bit more, versus me shutting it down. Because I think there's a lot of times where you view me asking questions about something that you want as me not being supportive. And it took us having a conversation more about it to say like, no, I like the idea. I just don't understand it fully. Or I think you need to think about, really what it's going to take to make this happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. I learned early on that if Kevin comes straight out with just questions, I automatically become defensive. I don't know what it is, but if he just one question is fine. 2 or 3, I'm automatically defensive because I've presented all this information and all you come back with is questions. So like he said, we had to have conversations about that because after that, I don't even want to talk to you about it anymore. So.
Yeah. And in that, to me, sometimes can show how much somebody really cares about something too. Like if you have this big goal or big dream or whatever, and I ask you 3 questions and then you just give up on your dream, then
this ain't Shark Tank. Like, you're not supposed to be doing all that. You're supposed to be validating.
No, that's the difference though. That to me is the biggest difference is I am now the main support. Like your mommy and your daddy, my mom they're not our main support anymore. Now every decision you make impacts me and vice versa. So whenever one of us just has some grand idea, it can't just be like, yo ho, let's go.
Yeah, that's true. I don't ever recall you ever saying yo ho, let's go. So that's true.
Yeah, because I've been, that's I think a big difference too in just our upbringing or like the jobs and things that we do. My job has always really been based around creativity, and the question is always what's next. You know what I'm saying? The question is always, how can you go further? How can you support this idea? My job, things that I do, it is like Shark Tank. It is presenting ideas and being challenged and all of that. And that's just kind of where I have always came from, and why I think I challenge ideas even if I like them, because don't you want the best out of an idea?
Yeah, that's true. You do. You should want the best. I would say the one example of where I felt the most supported is when I was going to school full time and I was working full time, and we had just had Ava, right?
Yep.
So majority of the roles in the house would have either had to been split or you had to take them. So there was times where I felt, I wasn't playing my part, or I wasn't doing the things that I felt like I should have been doing. And I was getting very discouraged, and there was a lot of late nights and a lot of things that I missed. And you were just very uplifting and empowering and telling me, you only have this many more semesters or two more days. And, this isn't a forever sacrifice. It's a short-term sacrifice for a lifelong gain. You're not going to have to do this ever again. Just providing those little words of encouragement to allow me to just see that, this is going to pay off,
And I was doing your papers and responding to discussion board posts.
You were not. responding to the
editing
discussion.
every paragraph,
you did edit
written.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all know this, but I have a master's in social work.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't have my name on it.
Yeah, that's true.
And through that, what I think is a lot of the beginning of our marriage went to, it goes back to sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
the previous episode, and what I feel like I had to sacrifice. I didn't have all these like hopes and dreams for my life. I just found a job that I loved and planned on doing that job.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had all these things that you wanted. So it was easy for me to just get on board and support you with those things. Being in school for what, 8 years?
8? No.
7?
6.5.
No way.
Yeah.
So 6.5 years of, me being there to really just engage in something that you were going after.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's not, and we're only, about to be 9 year, or we're about to be
9 years.
9 years in.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 3 years, about 3 years after, we have started to develop our own dreams and ideas of things that we want collectively together.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say that I have this large looming time where it was like I felt I felt supported in my dream, because my dream was just getting up and, going to work and doing what I do. But now I think there's going to be a lot more of that equal support going around as we pursue these different things that we both want, since,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I definitely hope that you're able to find some passions that I can invest my support in.
What if I have my passion? What if I've always had my passion?
What is it?
That you could have always invested your support in.
What is it?
What I do already.
Work?
Yeah.
I do.
I do.
I don't know. I do. I don't know what. Okay. So
what we see too is, I think that support changes over time. We've talked about what it looks like from, just growing up and getting into relationships. But as you're in a relationship and you are married and going through this, the support, like I was just saying, can obviously look different, and who's supporting who, what you're supporting, and why that changes.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think the biggest reason, or what do you think some reasons for change are?
I think for me, I would say one of the biggest reasons for a change is my investments shifted. I was one of the first people in my family to graduate with an undergrad, and I was one of the I am the only person to graduate with a master's degree in my family. So at that point, I wanted to just be able to set a higher expectation for my family. And then as we started our family with Gavin and Ava, my investment changed not changed from me investing in myself and me investing in you and I, to how can we invest in our children and invest in the family and create a space for that investment to cultivate them as individuals.
Yeah, I think, children are such a huge part of support, and there's an expectation, I think, that a lot of spouses and husbands and wives have, that, if I'm supporting my child equals I'm supporting you.
Yeah.
And that can be something that's difficult to figure out. And I'm sure we're not even to that difficult point yet.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
once your kids get involved in sports and dance and cheerleading and music, art, whatever it may be, that takes time away from your dreams, your goals, your work, your passion, and then it takes time away from your spouse's dreams and passions. And both of you are investing time in your kids' passions and, what they want to do, which is sometimes ever changing. It's like the support for each other can often kind of go out the window.
Yeah. That's when your marriage starts living for your children. And I can say that you see when people become empty nesters, that's when you see what the primary focus of their marriage was. So I think, like you said, it's important to save some of that support for your spouse and for your marriage, because if the primary focus, which I can honestly say can be easy to do, is your children, at the end of the day, there's nothing left for your spouse or for you if you're investing everything into them.
Yeah, and just hitting that point home, that as important as your children are, the relationship and the support that you give one another as parents is of equal, if not more, importance, because that's who your kids are looking to. They're modeling their life after you. So, maybe years down the line, I don't know that they're going to be saying like, Mom, you missed the baseball game. Yeah. Like, that's often what we see on TV and what's portrayed. Now, if you're never showing up, I think that's an issue. But that, if one of us, if we need to make each other our priority on a Friday night and not go to the dance competition, that's what we have to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about communication and weighing, I think, the pros and cons of all of that. And it's not a bad thing that your kids see that, oh, mom and dad are taking time for each other, or they're working on their relationship, they're supporting each other in what they want to do right now. And, as long as they're getting the support that they need as well,
right? Yeah.
Then, and it all balances out, is good. But it can be so easy for it to not balance out at all.
Yeah, that's very true. I would say that's one of the things where, if you're not mindful and understand the hierarchy of your household, meaning for us, it's God, our marriage, our children, and everything else follows, then it can be a challenge.
All right, cool. So what we really just wanted to do is kind of get ourselves thinking and get people thinking about ways that we can continue to support each other, continue to support the people that we care about most, especially those of you that are married. How are you supporting your spouses?
Or want to be married? How do you plan to support?
How are you supporting their ideas, their dreams, their goals, and things that they're passionate about every day, and really just thinking about ways that new ways that you can show support and just just challenge you to have the conversation about what it means to support each other and what that looks like for you as
a partner.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week.
We won't see them next week.
We won't, but we'll watch you in our analytics next week as the numbers climb when the episode is released. We see that you're listening. We appreciate everyone who's listening, and we're looking forward to next week is our last episode before we kind of take a break for a couple few weeks and kind of regroup and gain some more traction and ideas for our next set of episodes. So we'll see you next week to recap these first 8 episodes.
All right, see ya.
We're not listening.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Mix It Up with Kevin and Tenisha. Make sure you listen, like, and subscribe. Follow us on IG at Kevin and Tenisha. We'll stay tuned for more, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you for mixing up with Mom and Tenisha's podcast. See you later. I'm gonna miss Davin right now and eat Davin's eyebrows. Bye. Thank you for mixing up with my mom and dad. And thank you for licking Davin. And thank you for eating Davin all done. And thank you for eating Davin all done. And all my family.